Hello, you're on to Morning Safari. I am Olabisi Yusuf. Our focus of the program today is towards a peaceful and credible elections in Nigeria come 2023. This is a collective responsibility by all citizens. When citizens appreciate the efforts of the government towards protecting properties and lives of other citizens. When a citizen respects the right of another citizen to vote and support his or her desired candidate, there will be peace. Bottom line, vote and not fight. Our other segment on the program today will be from the dailies, the fitness segment, the health segment. I'll be talking about environmental pollution, the children's segment, background reports, and of course our discussion on credible and peaceful elections, entertainment, and sports. We'll take a short break right now, and when we return, Morning Safari continues. All right, you're welcome back. It's still Morning Safari. It's now time for our newspaper headlines. I'll be starting with the Saturday Tribune. Above the nameplate, we have court sacks Osun local government chairman, councillors. That story is on page 4. Election Tribunal orders INEC to produce a delicate certificate. Details on page 4. PDP G5 comment was a joke. CJA not partisan. Raji San. Details on page 5. How Okada man taught me to put the people first. IITA DG. That story is on page 26. To the biggest caption on Saturday Tribune, gunmen kidnap 60 in Zamfara. Rider bandits attack Kaduna villages, kill 15. 3 policemen murdered. Oil firm chief abducted in Rivers. Details on page 3. Suspected kidnappers nabbed in Ekiti, 3 million naira ransom recovered. Details on page 3. Adisa Akinloye seized my appointment letter as VC because I belong to Awolowo's party. This is coming from Professor Wande Abimbola. Details on pages 8 and 25. Nathaniel Bassi, RMD, Oboni others, mourn Sami Okposo. Story on page 2. Beavers, APC afraid of free fair elections, says PDP. That story is on page 5 of Saturday Tribune. Behind Saturday Tribune, we have notes from Atlanta with Farouk Perogi, an openly partisan Chief Justice of Nigeria. And to sports, Qatar 2022, Neymar ruled out of next 2 games. From Saturday Punch, above the nameplate, I won't disappoint Niger Delta if elected, says Tinubu. Story on page 10. INEC unveils campaign guidelines, directs parties to release programs. That story is on page 9. FG uncovers 16 illegal police in Kano, Rivers, others. Details on page 4. Fuel scarcity will linger till January, say marketers. Details on page 4. Riders, crisis may mark Christmas, New Year celebrations. Petrol now 200 to 270 naira. FG keeps mum, dealers free to sell at any rate. Queues spread in Lagos, Ogun, FCT, others. Buhari, fans, colleagues mourn popular gospel singer Okposo. Story on page 16. Historians fear identity loss as youth renounce ancestral names. Details on pages 20 and 21. I experienced 35 broken relationships for being blind, or your teacher. Details on page 27. Making skits pays better than Nollywood, Non's Mirage. Story on page 17. Behind the Saturday Punch, African teams can lift World Cup, says Cisse. Neymar vows to bounce back after injury woes. Battocracy, an effective governance model, part 1. For interest in any of the stories, pick a copy of Saturday Punch. And now to the nation. Osun Tribunal insists INEC must produce a delicate certificate. That story is on page 6. Court sacks 69 local government chairmen, 393 councillors. Analysis: Babachir Dogara's failed rebellion. Anti-Tinubu campaigners now at loggerheads. Details on page 3. Tinubu in Niger Delta push holds talks with Tompolo, others. Details on page 4. Riders slams Atiku Obi over 2023 bid, bags chieftaincy title. Asari Dokubo, ex-VP, no match for former governor. APC storms Lagos for Tinubu Shettima Sanwo-Olu rally. Candidates won't attend Arise News Town Hall meeting, PCC. 2023, don't accept donations above 50 million naira, INEC wants candidates. UK mulls foreign student restrictions to reduce immigration, details on page 29. Ogun court sacks ADC Guba flag bearer, Otegbeye 26 assembly candidates, details on page 6. Inside Nigeria's Sodom, details on page 11. Buhari celebs mourn as gospel singer Sami Okposo dies at 51. Behind the nation, we have illuminations with Segun Ayobolu, Tinubu, the Southeast, and 2023. Reconstitute Super Eagles by Ade Ojekere. For interest in any of those stories, pick a copy of The Nation. And now to The Guardian. 13% derivation backlog. Weakest revelation pits Niger Deltans against governors. Details on page 2. Rider, they must respond to weakest revelation personally, ever insist. Only 3 out of 20 tranches released so far, say Delta Edo officials. Oil-producing communities didn't benefit from weakest project. Ex-Pandef spokesman alleges. Presidency keeps mum. Our leave legacy of inclusive growth, financial inclusion, Buhari pledges. Details on page 3. You can't accept more than 50 million naira donation, INEC wants parties. Police arrest 5 fake EFCC operatives in Delta. The picture story: Lagosians struggle to buy petrol at a filling station as scarcity bites harder. Alleged 3.1 billion naira fraud, courts to rule on Okorocha's plea, February 6. Details on page 3. Tears tribute as Sami Okposo bows out. Wike's Sussex story is proof that political will can change face of Niger Delta. That story is on page 8. Pursue your dreams, but don't go into it blindly. Adara Soludo. Behind The Guardian, we have Senegal sends Qatar packing from World Cup. Fourth African victory thrills Okocha as attention shifts to Tunisia. We will host best ever sports festival, Delta pledges. For interest in any of those stories, pick a copy of The Guardian. And many thanks to Olowiyo newspaper stand for the newspapers. It's now time for our fitness segment. Don't go away.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to the fitness segment on Morning Safari. I am Ajide Dare Emmanuel. Today on the fitness segment, we will be looking at various exercises that you can do in order to make your lungs strong during this harmattan season. The first exercise is called cardiovascular exercise. If you know you can't do these exercises the way I'm doing it, you can actually take a walk or jog for a few minutes. And the second exercise to make our lungs stronger is core exercise, which we'll be doing the plank and sit-up. And the third exercise for today is a breathing exercise. So to do this, you lie down on your back, place your left hand on your chest, your right hand on your stomach, then you breathe in through your stomach and exhale through your mouth in 2 seconds. Alright viewers, that will be all for today on fitness segment on Morning Safari. I hope you've learned one of two things from what I just demonstrated for you. On this, Morning Safari continues.
Alright, you're welcome back. That was fitness segment with Dare Ajide. Keep exercising, it's good for the body. Moving ahead is the health segment on environmental pollution. Don't go away. Pollution is a crucial dilemma in our world today, which is injurious to human health. It can be described as the introduction of harmful or poisonous substances into the environment. An environmentalist enlightens us broadly on the types, effects, and measures to put in place in order to reduce the effects of pollution.
Environmental pollution is all about the addition of substances which can be either liquid, gaseous, or water into the environment at a rate that is faster than the rate at which those substances are being removed, reduced, or degraded from the environment. And we have several types of pollution, which includes the water pollution, land or soil pollution, air pollution, noise pollution, light pollution, and the rest of it. But I would like to focus more on the air pollution and water pollution. Okay, the air pollution is caused by several numerous human activities, although we also have anthropogenic causes of this air pollution. But basically, some of the substances that we release into the atmosphere on a daily occasion, like the generator sets that we use, the automobiles that are functioning with old engines, release gaseous substances into the atmosphere, and these things actually cause problem to us as human beings. Then the next one I'll talk about is water pollution. It has so many things that leads to this water pollution, like our sewage, the way we channel our sewage, the way we manage our waste, some of the way we even dispose some chemicals that we have made use of, and other things. The land pollution, you talk about the way we litter the environment with nylon, and some other things, activities that takes place actually cause this land pollution. Pollution actually affects human beings in a very bad way. Like, for instance, the air pollution. Air pollution can increase the risk of heart attack, wheezing, breathlessness, and so many of them. All these heart-related problems, and even the lungs can be affected by this air when we take it in. Not to talk of the animals as well. The animals are also affected by air pollution. The water pollution causes various degrees of diseases to the children and even to adults, such as this diarrhea, cholera, and so many of them. The land pollution affects the crops that we produce, and also the water, because you know the water we take in is actually coming from the ground. So this waste, these things that we don't decompose easily, also enter into our water, and we also end up taking them. So it affects the water we take and several other things. I would encourage us to be serious and be active during the environmental sanitation days, and also make it our lifestyle. Let it not just be those days of environmental sanitation that we actually do this sanitation. Our sewages, our waste should be properly managed. I also encourage recycling and reuse. Don't just discard things. Can recycle certain things, and some things can actually be reused and then reduced to the point that they cannot cause effect to the environment. Our vehicles can be serviced properly. This will help to reduce the quantity of gas that is being released by the exhaust pipes. And concerning when you see things that are not supposed to be where they are, you can put them to place. For the water pollution, water treatment, and waste management, proper waste management, connecting our sewage systems properly, so that these things are not being just discarded into the environment without treating them and making them less toxic to the water bodies. Also, we talk about provision of waste garbage bags or waste bins around, so that when you use a nylon or when you are done with any wrap, you can actually discard them appropriately. In conclusion, we should actually sustain our environment, so that our environment can actually sustain us.
Pollution can be said to be a man-made disaster. Hence, let us not forget to play our own part to improve our lifestyle and habits, so pollution can be at the barest minimum.
All right, so welcome back. That was a very nice one on environmental pollution. Take care of your environment. Make sure your wastages, they are properly disposed. If you take care of environment, your environment will accommodate you. It's now time for our children's segment. Don't go away.
In a world where only cats were living, where the heroes ran in short supply, to a land so harsh and unforgiving, rode a hero, the blazing samurai. When one town was found to be in danger from the evildoers dropping by,
we wanted to give you something.
We? So, your mom wanted to throw me a bone?
No, my mom said to hand it to you.
Now, why would she do that?
Well, if I threw it, It might get on the ground all dirty and icky.
No, what I meant is, why would she want to give me something?
To thank you for saving our town. You are the best dog samurai I have ever seen.
I am the only dog samurai you've ever seen, but I gotta say, you're kind of right. I am mighty impressive as far as samurais go.
Are you all finished? 'Cause it's getting late. Samurai needs to sleep.
Really looks like things are turning around for me, eh?
You got lucky, kid. Don't let it go to your head.
Luck? Please. I should be registered as a lethal weapon.
Pride goes before fall.
What do you mean your ninjas are afraid?
Since the dog defeated Sumo, none of my cats want to...
The Shogun will be here in 2 days. I don't care if your ninja are afraid. Take them down to that roadblock of a town and really just... You know what I've done?
Your hair and a catty petty?
Yes, but no. I've outsmarted my own self by employing that dog. Oh, nice. Me likey. The problem with the good citizens of Kakamucho is there are too many good citizens in Kakamucho. It's time to take care of this mutt myself. With the ultimate weapon, me.
Sumo, like butterfly that was once caterpillar, fly like dandelion.
It's a hat. And this one's a boat.
That is really good.
Oops, that was the hat. What did you make?
A swan. And some other stuff.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
You can make anything out of folded paper.
All right, make me a sandwich.
It's not a sandwich. But here, I made you something. For good luck.
Looks like me.
It will always remind you of who you are.
Who you are? Let's concentrate on who you are not. And that would be a samurai.
Come on, Jimbo. We're just enjoying a beautiful day. The sun is shining, birds are singing. And besides, I deserve a break for taking care of Sumo. I mean, just look at him. Butterfly. Oh.
That's just the point. You have one little itsy-bitsy, tiny-weeny bite of success.
I'm sorry, tiny what?
Tiny what? What?
What?
What?
Uh-huh.
The point is, this is no time for celebrating. It's time to double your efforts and train even harder. Now get to it.
Hank, my brawling, battling hero. Sorry, I hope I'm not bothering you, am I?
No. I was just, getting a workout in.
Sure. God, very impressive. You defeating Sumo. Oh, wow.
No, it was nothing.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Nothing. Anyway, I came here to invite you out on the town to celebrate. Tonight, I'm taking you to the most exclusive club in the country. Even the members aren't allowed in.
Well, thank you, but I can't go. I promised my teacher I'd stay focused on my training.
Right. Sounds like your teacher is someone...
You're welcome back. That's beautiful cartoon from Paws of Fury continues next week. Moving ahead, is now time for our background report on peaceful and credible elections in Nigeria. Stay tuned.
Electioneering campaigns are known to be accompanied with verbal attacks, propaganda, and political rifts. All are capable of emanating political crisis. To control this, a responsible government will take a drastic step for peace. Recently, all the 18 political parties contesting for next year's presidential election gathered at the International Conference Center in Abuja to sign a peaceful conduct before, during, and after election.
With the passage of the Electoral Act, there is now punishment for even INEC staff when they contravene the law. There is a punishment for even the security agencies if they contravene the law. There is also punishment for the voters if they contravene the law. There is punishment for the ad hoc staff if they contravene the law. So that has made it in such a way that people now will not have to break the law with impunity. On our own part, in the area of security, we have liaised with the police commissioner to liaise with other security agencies to ensure that security in our local government is beefed up. At the headquarters here is beefed up.
In light of this, study has shown that some politicians have formed the habit of sending their political thugs to perpetrate unlawful acts, such as removal or destruction of campaign banners or billboards of other political parties. Aside from this, the followers also create more problems with unguided speeches to their oppositions.
Achieving a peaceful conduct of the next year election it should be a function of many variables. One, the people themselves, the INEC, the electorate, and the politicians, including the security agencies. And how do we put all together? We'll put all together by working together. When we work in the same spirit and with the same goal of achieving a peaceful and free conduct of the election, everything will be in order. But on the part of we as the police, we've been doing a lot to ensure that, one, the election is history, is peaceful, is accepted, and credible. And how do we do that? First and foremost, when the Commissioner of Police assumed office, I'm talking about the CP, Paul Odama, the first thing he did was to call all political gladiators in Kwara, all the executives of all the political parties, to a meeting where we both exchange ideas on how we are going to make the election peaceful.
However, the peace accord should not only be limited to political parties and their candidates, but it should be extended to other critical stakeholders and institutions.
It is important to tell our youth to ensure that they are not used as hooligans or as security threats to the society. Make sure that as a youth, whatever you do is in the interest of yourself, of your family, and of the nation, by not going to illegalism or violence during this election. Especially realizing that some of the people you may want to work for against security also have their children enjoying life and good education abroad. While you are here, do the right thing. Ensure that you follow peace with all political parties and the citizenry of Nigeria, so that we can have a free, fair, and peaceful elections in 2023.
Consequently, members of the society have to be aware that in achieving successful and credible election, it is a duty of everyone to play the game according to the rules spelled out in the electoral law. Therefore, nobody can live alone in this passing world. Man is a social animal. We are members of the same human family. We need one another in our socialization and even political processes, even though our tribes, tongues, and religion may differ. By and large, election should not be seen as means to provoke crisis, but it should be used as an avenue for positive change.
All right, you're welcome back. My guest is Dr. Adebola Bakari from the Department of Political Science, University of Ilorin. You're welcome on the program this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
What is free, peaceful, fair, and credible elections?
Well, from the word free election, it means a process where political leaders are recruited through an election that allow people to express their preference. It means nobody will be forced to vote for somebody against his or her wish. It means the votes will count. It means the outcome of the election will not have been predetermined, because we've seen some election where before people go out to vote, the results are already out. So when we say free, fair, and credible election, it's a process whereby people exercise their franchise, knowing fully well that their vote will count, to the extent that wins the election, we know that he is the choice of the majority, and whoever loses will admit that the people actually did not need his service. So, and where we have free election, it will be extremely difficult for the person that lose the election to go to court, because everything will have been clear to him that he lost the election honorably. So that is what we define as free, fair, and credible elections.
Crisis is one of the attendant features of elections in Africa, in most African countries. What do you think is attributing to this?
Well, the problem is because basically two things. One, the system of electoral framework that we are using. You see, we are using a system where if you come second in an election, you go home with nothing.
Is the winner takes all.
Is winner takes all. So, as long as we continue to use this system, there is no recognition, there is no medal, nothing for anybody that comes second. So, that desperation will make people to adopt or employ any means.
Okay.
And that's one of the factors that leads to electoral violence. The second is our perception of politics itself and governance. You see, in any country where people see politics as job, where you ask them, what do you do for a living? Somebody will tell you, I'm a politician. That tells you that that person will want to be in power at all time. So anything that will make that person to be out of power, what we expect is that you have a job that you are doing. Then politics will now be more or less like something you do to serve the people. As service to humanity.
Okay.
You are being called to serve. You offer yourself to serve the people. Not about what you are going to see. But people now have seen it as a source of income. To the extent that you see some graduates, as they are graduating, finishing their NYSC, they go into politics.
Full time.
Full time. Just because they could not find any job. That's why you see them in politics. It's not that they have that core. If not that they have that mind. So the combination of these two reasons could be attributed to the violence that we are witnessing in Nigeria and entire Africa. But if you look at the other climb, most especially the Western democracies, they also have electoral violence. Okay. They have pockets of violence here and there. Look at what happened in the last presidential election in the US, where the sitting president lost and more or less mobilized, allegedly to have mobilized his supporters to attack the capital city, the Senate and House of Representatives. Not peculiar to Africa. Okay. But it's more pronounced
in
Africa because over there, hardly could you find anybody in government over there that will not have had a job doing. Okay. At least you must show your track record, what you have done in the past, that will make people to believe that you have the requisite experience to govern. Somebody who finished school and did not work anywhere, just contest and say he's going to become a governor. Do you think administering a state is a joke?
That could have been his calling or our calling.
No, you must have done something
that
will make us to know that you actually have that experience, that you have the mental capacity to, because it's not about people are contesting and want to contest.
Is it all about the mental capacity? How about other the financial commitments and all?
You see, governance is more of mental capacity
okay,
than physical and
the financial.
You see, the problem, one of the problems that we are facing in this country is because we have attributed performance in governance to financial might.
Okay.
So that now leads us to where we are now, where we are grappling with the consequences of money politics. Imagine how much it takes for you to contest as House of Assembly member in Nigeria now. Imagine how much it will cost you to contest as a governor. Imagine how much it will cost you to contest for president. Look at the ruling party nomination form, 100 million.
Okay.
How do you explain that? So what is most important is if we find somebody with mental capacity
okay,
that has no money, the person can be better. You know, Aristotle classified all those who are into governance into three. He says some are the rich,
okay,
that we also have the poor, that is far left. Then we now have the moderate, those are the middle. Aristotle said, if you want best governance,
okay,
you want good governance, don't go for somebody who is very rich, extremely rich, and don't go for somebody who is extremely poor. They will not be a fine ruler. They will not be fine leader. That if for you to have a good government, go for people who are moderate. They are neither too rich nor too poor. Because somebody who is too poor, upon emergence as governor or president, the first thing he will do is to use public money to take care of all the problems that he has been facing and not have time, and he want to accumulate wealth. For somebody who is extremely rich,
okay,
that person might not accumulate wealth, but his living standard might be too much for what the public could afford. Somebody who already working, using his money to buy a car of 800 million, using 800 million naira to buy a car when he's working for his money. Imagine that person as governor. That person will not drive any car less than 2 billion.
Okay.
So can we afford that?
Okay, let's talk about the peace accord. What's the effect of peace accord, and is it binding on stakeholders?
Thank you for that wonderful question. You see, when we look at the peace accord, it's just a moral document.
Okay.
It is not a legal document. You know, there is difference between morality and legality. Sometimes we may have something that is morally right but legally wrong. Sometimes we might have something that is legally right but morally wrong. But in this case, the peace accord is morally right. But there is no part of the Constitution or Electoral Act that give force to it. So its violation cannot be punished. So it's just a document that people out of morality felt that let's invite all the major stakeholders to sign accord, an agreement, a social, is more or less like a social agreement, that we are going to prosecute this election without violence. But sometimes the violence that you see, sometimes electoral violence, may happen without the consent
of the
candidates. Let me give you an example. The people that are contesting, Tinubu, Atiku, Peter Obi, Kwankwaso, they are the major contenders. They are not living in Ilorin.
Okay.
And we have supporters of 4 of them, another candidate in Ilorin. Now, if you go to, you know, what our people call assembly, we are, you know, in almost every area you see where they will put
I understand. Yes.
So if you go to assembly, not Kwara Assembly. So I'm explaining for the purpose of those who don't know
what Kwara Assembly.
So it's just a place where people gather
and discuss.
Maybe in front of the house. And so now when you go to such assembly, you see people arguing. Hey, Tinubu is the best. Tinubu will win. Atiku will win. Obi will not win. And from there, it could lead to heat debate. And from there, it could lead to fight. Yes. So, the essence of the peace accord is for the candidates, whether they foresee violence or not, is to continue to inform their followers and supporters that they should not engage in anything that will bring violence or chaos during the electioneering process. Unfortunately, we have seen situations where some of the candidates are the one even instigating violence by what they are saying. So, by and large, the peace accord is not.
But how effective has it been?
Well, to me, that question is difficult to answer. But in my own opinion, you see, you can't totally say something is not effective. It's like you visited herbalist to do something that will not make you die. And that person did something and you use it. Can you complain that that thing is not working since you are alive? So the fact that we are witnessing peace here and there with only pocket of violence, so we can't totally say it is not the making of
from the past elections.
So to me, to some extent, is still working, because at least that moral restraint that is given to some people, that anytime they want to do violence, they will say, but we have signed peace accord. So they withdraw from prosecuting that electoral violence. So to some extent is working, but we should not pin all our hope
on it.
Okay.
So how can Nigeria achieve free and fair elections? What are the things to be put in place?
That's a difficult question. That's a serious question. You see, I don't like to sound pessimistic. I like to be optimistic, even though I'm somebody who faces reality. You see, it will be difficult for us to have free and violence-free election in Nigeria, as long as we continue to practice this type of electoral system.
Even with the electoral reforms and all.
Honestly, the Constitution, people are violating the Constitution. Not to talk of the Electoral Act, and now to talk about the peace accord. You see, we can only continue to plead with the political elite. Unfortunately, I blame the people. You see, the reason why I blame the people is that anytime they are instigating this violence, you will discover that majority of this political elite, anytime election is coming, they transfer their children out of the country. They move them out of the country. They now use average Nigerians, jobless Nigerians, to now prosecute the violence, give guns and weapons to them to go and scatter maybe the stronghold of their opposition. So and why do they respond to the political elite in doing it? Because of the level of poverty. As long as they continue, you know, sometimes the elite purposely use poverty as a weapon. They deliberately govern in such a way that people will not be too comfortable, so that when they need to use them, they will see available soldiers to use. Now, go to the US. You know, there is limits to how you can just recruit people to engage in electoral violence. Or even let's stay here and cite example. Can anybody come and meet me and offer to give me a gun to go and scatter a place? It's not possible. Because the kind of life I'm living, I'm not rich, but I'm not too poor. But at least I am.
Well, we have some people living comfortably and still they engage in electoral violence.
I want to disagree with you in the sense that, you see, the people you think are living comfortably and engage in electoral violence, it may be that violence is the source of their income.
Okay.
So that's the business they are doing.
Okay.
Somebody who is a tout, who is making living from being a tout, no matter how rich that person is, will continue to be a tout. Because that's the source of his income. So those are the people you will see. You know, at a point in Kwara, they call them area boys.
Okay.
At a point, they started calling them bad boys. At a point, they also wanted to put dignity in their job, and they condemn being called area bad boys, and they started calling them good boys.
Oh.
Yes. About 4 or 5 years ago, you won't hear, if you call them area boys or bad boys, they will attack you. But if you go to their abode and call them good boys, they will happily respond to you, because that's what, in fact, even in government, that's what they call them, good boys. But so as long as those kind of things continue, electoral violence, but I will just want to plead with our people that, let me borrow the word of Jonathan.
Okay.
During the 2015 election, he said his ambition to become president does not worth the blood of any Nigerian. You can't go and sacrifice your life because you want some selfish individual to emerge as governor, president, senator, or House of Rep member. What people should know is that once you go and engage in electoral violence in the order under the directive of these people, and that person dies, they will not take care of the family. The highest they will do is to just visit the family house of that person and give them 500,000. That's the highest. That is even if they go. Sometimes they did not even, you see, there are some people who are fighting for these politicians. The question I ask them, this person you are fighting, killing yourself, if you stand, do you think this person you are fighting for recognize you? You know, some people can be so passion. That is useless passion. Anybody you have passion to install as president or governor, as a leader, you do that through canvassing votes peacefully for that person.
Okay.
Tell me, convince me
why it should be
the person should be the governor, why the person should be the president, not by intimidating me, not by harassing me. You see, nobody has monopoly of violence. If you think you can intimidate somebody, what if you don't know what that person has? So if you lose your life in that process.
Okay, Dr. Adebola, quickly, what do you see to be the order in Nigeria after the 2023 elections?
Well, you see, I used to describe Nigeria as a rubber country that is elastic. Okay. You see, at every point in time, we found ourselves in a situation where we thought Nigeria will explode. You know, Nigeria has God gave us a kind of shock absorber that anytime something heavy like that is coming, you just discover that we'll be able to balance it. It may surprise us, but over time we just bounce back and everything will be fine. And that's why some people said Nigerians are the happiest people on earth. So, you know, Fela said we are suffering and smiling. So, post 2023, I don't see any problem. I just think the 2023 election will come as the ones we have witnessed. Okay. We record pocket of violence here and there, but Nigeria will exist beyond 2023 election.
All right, Dr. Adebola Bakari, thank you for coming on the program this morning. It's nice having you. Hope to see you another time.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, viewers at home, it's now time for our entertainment segment. Don't go away.
Kwara State needs a strong and formidable leadership to propel it to the promised land. Are you interested in liberating the people and the state to prosperity through quality leadership of governorship, National Assembly, and the State Assembly political seats? Well, your electorates want to know you, and NTA Ilorin is providing you with a platform to convince the people that you are the right candidate. The podium is the platform to convince the people that you are the right candidate. Keep a date with us every Saturday, 7:30 to 8 p.m. For more inquiries, please call the following numbers: 0913-483-1426 or 0803-577-9651.
People just they do like saying that them be Jesus. People so wicked but they so religious. Who they calculate, they show the figures. Who they demonstrate where they run, leave us. People to complain but they fear to speak up. We don't want to die but nothing to live for. Christian and corrupt, not supposed to be mixture. Real Musulumi, not supposed to teach just. Real talk, no be fight, rara. Everybody gets the fault for inside matter. Who are we to crucify the homosexual? Most of them are done, they evolve from time. But not be anybody business who you won't climb.
Welcome to today's entertainment on Morning Safari, your #1 breakfast show, coming to you live from Nigeria Television Authority, NTA Ilorin, where we give you the latest gist, updates, and happenings around the world of entertainment. Well, today will not be left out. I have it well packaged for you. I am Iyumi Komalafe. Before we go on the gist well for you today, we'd like to go on a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back from that short break. First on our lineup: run from a man who will borrow to marry you. Use filter. Sonia Ogiri tells women the type of man to look up to. Nigerian Nollywood actress Sonia Ogiri has shared a piece of wonderful relationship advice with women who are looking for a good husband. Taken into her Instagram page, Sonia listed how things women need to look up to in consideration of saying I do to any man. According to the philanthropist, women must run from guys who borrow money to get married. She also noted that guys who use filter and stay on social media 24 hours are a red flag. Because they see herself of gifted figure eights and slide into different DMs. If you check their DMs, you will cry. Run from a guy that is interested in you in posting him on social media. He knows exactly what he's doing. Post or show yourself and your man when you are married to him. Run from a man who is not interested in giving you anything, but is not as well interested when you collect things from other people. Well, I really don't know what to say, but this advice goes a very long way. Most of us, those with ladies out there, actually give fall to this type of victim of guys. I think it's right time for us to make concentration on this type of thing, so that we'll not make that mistake, because it is better to wait for the right time than later on we'll cry and start to drink Gary. I can't do that. Next on our lineup is fans quarrel actor Ayo Olaiya as he unveiled his mystery lover. Nollywood actor Ayo Olaiya has received quarrels from his fans as he unveiled his mystery lover. The actor took many by surprise as he penned a romantic note of his lover, sharing a photo of him and his woman with her face hidden. The Yoruba actor gushed over her. Ayo Olaya described his mystery lover as an angel who has lightened his world and completed his heart. Pouring sweet words on her, he further described her as the best thing that has ever happened to him. This woman actually must be really, really enjoying. I was very proud to say that it's everybody that actually wants a romantic family. And when we see that type of person, we should actually grab them and actually appreciate it. Whether it's a man or the woman, it is very, very important to appreciate that partner you have. Because for this actor to be classifying, to be describing his wife as an angel, it shows so many things that she has done for him. And this is how we come to the end of today's entertainment. I'm sure you enjoyed it. But and for we ladies, it's actually good advice that we need to work towards, because everyone wants to be treated specially, and I'm very sure we ladies actually love it when we're being treated specially. Come the same next week, same station, we'll be giving you another different gist. So, our sport lovers, we are not left out. Samson Olabode has your packaged well in store for you. Thank you.
Welcome to your favorite breakfast show, Morning Safari. I am Olabode Samson. On our lineup of stories for today, Cristiano Ronaldo becomes the first player to score in the 5 World Cup on Thursday as Portugal opened their campaign in Qatar with a 3-2 defeat in Ghana Group H. Ronaldo shrugged off a stormy week, which saw him dramatically leave Manchester United to bury a second-half penalty to set Portugal on their way to victory. Chris Eubank Jr. returns to the ring on January 24th to face Liam Smith at Manchester A0 Arena. Chris Jr. will box Smith next at the A0 Arena in Manchester on January 24th in a blockbuster to start 2023. The midway rival go head-to-head in an eagerly anticipated bout as Boxers Unleashed. Smith head into the mouth-watering pay-view clash. Jericho have put their negotiation efforts this winter into keeping their leader on board. However, still signing so far 10 riders who will be reinforcing the base and the middle of the team. The Australian squad will keep its priority in the sprint for the coming season. We've enjoyed seeing the team set up and challenges for the sprint victory throughout the entire season, and now the lead-out trade has improved to become one of the best in the world. Brett Copeland, team manager, said, "It is very important to continue with this momentum. We have put a lot of work and resources into our sprint team, and we believe the new riders we have joining the team next year will really help to boost up in the arena. We have a big ambition for the sprint finishes in 2023, and that will be all on sport."
Alright, you're welcome back. This is where we'll be drawing the curtain on the program today. I remain Olabisi Yusuf. The message is vote and not fight. See you another time.